Hello, everyone, and a happy new year to you all, and welcome to the first This is the Music Meets podcast of 2026. If you are new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on any brand new episodes, and don't be shy, drop us a comment as I would love to hear from you. It's now time for episode 161, and I'm delighted to be joined by Shannon Gillespie, an artist who is set to light up 2026. Over the course of today's episode, we're going to be chatting about Shannon's brand new single, The Runner, musical influences, and what plans are looking like for 2026. So, Shannon, it is a very warm welcome to you on the This is the Music Meets podcast. Thanks very much for joining me. How are you doing?
Thank you very much for having me. It's a warm welcome on a very, very cold day. So this is exactly what I need.
Oh, brilliant! Yeah, and we were also just chatting off air. There, it is bitterly cold. Obviously, the weather is clearly a hot topic right now.
For
I
sure.
know you're roughly in about the northwest of the country. Have you been
I
hit
am, yeah.
affected by the snow?
It's not been too bad snow-wise, but it is just really icy. So you're just massively inconvenienced. Like I hate going out in the car. I hate walking anywhere because even with my big Doc Martens on, I can't actually step without falling over. Which is mad because I love to ice skate, but that's when I'm wearing actual ice skates. When I'm wearing actual shoes, doesn't work.
Forget it. Yeah, just hope there's no like you've been framed cameras knocking around.
Honestly, I dread the day because everyone's out on the street content creating, TikToking, and I'm like, I know I'm in the background of videos in the city centre, just kind of trying not to fall over.
Brilliant. Love that. Love that. And really then obviously solo artist, obviously
Mhm,
a few releases that we're going to come on to,
mhm.
a little bit obviously the runner as I mentioned there in the intro. But for anyone then that's sort of discovering you for the first time, how would you describe like your sound and sort of where do you feel that you are at the moment, like with your creativity?
I think at the moment, definitely with the releases that I did in 2025, I would say I'm definitely more along that sort of alt pop route. But in terms of my music as a whole, I'm influenced by so many people and so many genres that it's hard to kind of put myself into that one bracket for now as well, because I've only got a couple of songs out and every single one of them is a very different feel from the last, which is good because they're all standalone projects. But yeah, moving forwards, I definitely want to go into the kind of alt pop, indie pop side of things.
Yeah, sure. And just you saying that there, obviously with the sound being like different, do you
Mhm.
think either from like your own experience of releasing music or maybe, as a sort of a wider question, like as a music fan, do you sometimes feel that people are like too quick to say, oh, this person is this genre, without, too quick to put a label on someone without maybe listening to like the rest of their like releases and music?
Yeah, definitely. I think obviously me being like the music that I sort of create and the people that I'm influenced by, especially it always comes back to Taylor Swift because I'm a girl with a guitar and it'd be wrong to not mention that obviously I wouldn't be that without Taylor Swift. And the beauty of every album that she creates is every single album, every single project is an opportunity to reinvent yourself. It's hard when you've done that much to put yourself in a small bracket, but at the same time when you're just releasing stuff, you don't know when the opportunity is going to arise for you to have that reinvention, that new era, that kind of new form of writing or that new style that you're influenced by that you've never been exposed to before. So it can be really hard, I think, to put yourself in a bracket so early on because you also don't want to become stale in some ways by
Yeah.
just making that one signature sound. I mean, there's loads of bands that I like where they've made an album that's really good, and then the second album comes out, it sounds just like the first album, and then the third album comes out, and it sounds just like the first and second one, and it's like I'm not expecting you to step into drum and bass, but like give me something a little bit different. So yeah, it can be really hard to put yourself in a genre too early, but also still have that sound that makes you so uniquely yourself.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Okay, and obviously you just mentioned there being a big fan of Taylor Swift and obviously
Mm-hmm.
influencing you at the moment, but sort of rewinding sort of a little bit further back, really, I guess almost to the beginning. What are your sort of earliest musical memories, growing up, and obviously how much has a big influence has Taylor Swift, for example, there been on your
Mm-hmm.
musical journey, so to speak, so far?
I mean, music has always been a massive part of my life, but I didn't start out as a musician. I started out as a dancer, and I was really into dance, and I loved going to see live music and dancing along to any music that I heard in a school show, in a shopping centre, on a stage in front of however many people that I would be just kind of bopping about wherever. It was only when I was doing my GCSEs, and this is, I've never actually, no, I did recently admit this on the internet because I posted a TikTok about it, but I recently admitted that the only reason I play guitar and I sing now is because there was a boy that I liked when I was at school, and he really wanted to do GCSE music, and he said that they wouldn't be able to do the course if people didn't sign up for it. And I was like on the fence about what I wanted to do, and I was like, well, I sing a bit. I'll just do it and see what happens. And then I did it, and now I'm here, and I've not spoke to him in the last like 10 years. But you know what? Cheers, mate. I really appreciate it.
Although to be fair, you've had the last laugh, recording music
Oh,
and
for
releasing it.
sure. Like it's so funny because it is I guess it's such a Taylor Swift coded thing to do it
Mm.
because a boy asked me to. And it's so silly to admit because that's not something at my big old age now, I would never. I'm not doing stuff like that just because you want me to. But then, as a kid, I was like, oh, this is my chance to go for it. And I did, and I was terrified. Like I was so shy. And it kind of music really brought me out of my shell. And even though I was dancing in front of loads of people, when you're doing dance shows and stuff, obviously you're with like a group of people. I would never do a solo, absolutely not. But now, if as long as there's a guitar in front of me or a microphone, I'll stand up in front of whoever and I'll sing. So yeah, it definitely did massive for my confidence. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a question I've always been sort of like quite fascinated by, really
Mhm.
asking artists. When then did you realise that you could sing? Because presumably, you're singing along in like the car or, the radio at home or
Mhm.
whatever. So, yeah, at what point did either yourself or maybe a friend or a family member go, yeah, do you know what, Shannon, you can sing? Like, when did that happen?
It definitely wasn't when I first sang in front of my mum because she bought me a karaoke machine. I remember it so clearly. She bought me a karaoke machine one Christmas, and this was when I was like shy, shy. And she was like, sing us a song now. And I was so scared that I think I just started crying. And
So I shouldn't be laughing at that.
no,
Sorry.
we can laugh now. We can laugh now. But I think years later, we were doing some sort of rehearsal at school, and one of my friends heard me sing, and she was like, "You shouldn't be so scared of singing in front of people. Like you've got a really good voice, whatever." And again, too shy, can't take compliments still to this day. So I was like, "Oh, thanks." And she wrote a status on Facebook about it and like outed me. So then everyone was like, "Oh, you can sing. We know you can sing because we saw it on Megan's Facebook." And I was like, just so Megan's Facebook status is something to go off of. Like, is that where we get our news now? And yeah, so to this day, I still like I post about that like every year when it comes up on my memories. I'm like, it's kind of your fault that I'm here as well. Like more influenced by you than anything. And then the first school show I did when I sang, we were like a big choir, and there were like little solos here and there, and I wasn't confident enough to do like a full song on my own,
Hmm.
but I got given the outro for Set Fire to the Rain, like that's just like a vocal run, which is
Yeah.
not something I even do in my own music, but I got given that, and they were like, yeah, Shannon will be able to do that, and I did. So I guess that's the point where I was like, oh, people like when I sing, so I'll see where it goes from there. And now, yeah, here I am.
Brilliant. Yeah. Well, fortunately for us, here you are.
Oh, thank you very
And
much.
obviously, talking about sort of the new single,
Hmm.
The Runner, which came out on Friday, the 19th of December,
Is
across all streaming and download platforms and all of that sort of good stuff. And if you're watching this episode on Apple Podcast or Spotify, then you'll be able to hear it at the end of the episode as well, because it's going to play us out. So, when you wrote this song, what was happening in your life, and sort of what made it different to the other releases that you'd put out, up until that point?
so all my music is really personal, and it started off I knew that I had some screenshots from a conversation from many years ago that I still hadn't quite. I'd gotten over it in the sense that I'd moved on with my life, but it was one of those like, I can't believe I let this person and this situation really get the better of me, and they said all of these things, and I kept a note of it because I knew that one day when I was past it and I was feeling better, that I could look back and kind of go, I can't believe you did all that. And looking back now, though, well, when I started writing, I was like, you almost kept all of those messages and have never deleted anything, part because you've never gotten over anything, but also because you really thought in some weird way they would make their way back into your life and you'd be able to call them out on it
Right.
almost.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like if we one day made amends in, some way, some capacity, or I bumped into them or got a message from them, anything, that I would go, do you remember when you said all of this? I can't believe I was okay with that. Like, why would you do that? Like, but it was that delusional thought of they'll come back, they'll realize what they did, and they'll come back, and I'll get the last laugh then. And instead, I wrote a song about it. Just wrote a song about it instead, and it was so much fun to write. And it's the liveliest song that I've done. It's definitely the most challenging project that I've taken on, and I love it. It's my favorite song that I've ever written, and I think I've not been quiet about that either. Love all my songs, like I love
Yeah.
all of them, but there is something so special about this song for me, and yeah, I'm really really proud of it that it's been so well received.
Yeah, oh, definitely, absolutely. And then when you were writing it, then did the lyrics sort of like come quite quickly, and obviously the melody on the guitar as well?
Yeah, so I'd started writing. I'd written another song that had like say two or three lines of this chorus in it, but the song didn't feel quite right. Like it was almost the song felt too nice. It felt too like I was yearning for something and pining for somebody. And in reality, when I was living through the experience that it's about, it didn't feel like that. It was angry and it was delusional and it was, yeah, a lot more lively and erratic. And I wanted to really channel that into the song. So instead of writing this kind of song about how I'd really fallen for someone and I was wondering if they missed me, I was like, no, go with your gut. Go with this sort of they'll come back. They always come back. They never come back. But that's fine. So I really wanted to, yeah, channel that. So because I had those lines to begin with, I was like, right, really hone in on those feelings. So go back through everything that you had, like almost kind of mood boardy. Go back through everything and just piece it all together. And it only took me like a couple of days to get the lyrics down, and then yeah, getting into the studio with my friend Leo, who records all my tracks, he like sat down with me and was like, right, let's go over a few options and see what feels right. And I think the last thing that got added to it was the bridge, which was probably the most fun thing to kind of riff off and pick up. So yeah, really enjoyed writing it.
Yeah, definitely. And funny enough, you just mentioning the bridge there, that actually takes us quite
Mhm.
nicely into the
Good.
next question. Actually, it's like you knew what I was going to ask you.
Well, you know.
But obviously, you mentioned about the sort of the Taylor Swift influence there, and I think
hmm
you've said, previously that sort of inspired the bridge in
Yeah.
this song. So when you're and obviously she's a multi-million selling platinum selling
Yeah.
artist or whatever wherever she is and all that sort of stuff. But
hmm
do you ever like look at your songs or maybe a part of a song and sort of do a little like a comparison with
Oh,
say, an
all
artist?
the time. All the time. I think music is such a comparative thing because as an up and coming musician, the second you've gotten to one checkpoint, one thing that you want to achieve, you're actively trying to pursue the next thing and the next thing. And so you look at someone that either maybe started at a similar level to yourself and then, either suddenly skyrocketed to fame or they did do the kind of baby steps and did it all that way, and you're sort of trying to piece together where you're going to go next. And so having inspirations like Taylor Swift, where you look at it and you're like, I'm not gonna. I've very much made peace with the fact that I'm not going to be Taylor Swift. I don't think I want to be Taylor Swift, um, despite obviously idolizing her my entire life, until more recently, where I was like, you know what, it's not. You shouldn't aspire to be another person. The best thing you can aspire to be is the best version of yourself.
Hmm.
And so I look at, some songs that she's written, and I've mentioned the bridge, because a bridge is like, it's for her music, and then for the likes of, Gracie Abrams, who's another artist that I love, Audrey Hobart, who's another artist that I really love. The bridges of the song are kind of like the bit that everybody goes back to and everyone talks about. And so I wanted to have something like that was catchy, relatable, and then led into, the biggest, most climactic part of the song. And so yeah, when that came together, I was really pleased with it. But I had a conversation the other day, because obviously I say that I'm 20 something. That's how the bridge kind of starts. I'm 20 something. I'll keep my options open. And my friend Tash said to me yesterday, she was like, so every time you kind of go into the next decade of your life, though, are you going to say I'm like 30 something, 40 something? I was like, mate, if I get to a point where I'm 60 something, still playing gigs, then absolutely I will. But as I'm as I'm not necessarily thrilled to be fast approaching my 30s, I'm gonna probably keep 20 something until I'm in my 40s, and then I can't get away with saying I'm in my 20 something anymore. That's my plan.
Brilliant. Brilliant. I love that. That is great. That is, I mean, yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah, shout out to Tash. And I was just thinking there, as you were talking about all the, what you were trying to achieve on it, I was thinking, yeah, I need some sound effects to like go ding, 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 that you've ticked off everything that you set out to
We need a
achieve in the
soundboard.
song.
I love that.
Yeah. And at the time of recording this podcast, you mentioned earlier about, how proud you are of how well the song has been received at the minute.
Mhm.
And at the time of when I wrote this question, hopefully it's gone up by now.
Mhm.
But the song The Runner has had over 3,000 Spotify streams, to say,
Amazing.
come out just a couple of weeks
Mhm.
ago. So how do you feel, looking at that reaction that you've had, and obviously the amount of times that it has been streamed? Because it is, for me, in my opinion, it is fantastic, achievement in those first couple of
Thank
weeks.
you. I mean, it's one of those, you never know how it's gonna go. And sure, I'd love nothing more than to, get a million streams in a week, but there's there's no way that me, without any, paid promotion or label or huge marketing budget or, anything like that, there is no way that I'm gonna achieve those numbers. So in my head, I was like, if I can get 1,000 streams within the first week, that'd be amazing, because I'd set myself a goal of, once it reaches 1,000 streams, I'm gonna announce the music video coming out. So I'm like frantically refreshing it every day, going, please, I need it to get to 1,000 streams, because I've told everybody that I'm only gonna release the music video when it gets to 1,000 streams. And there's a tweet from Rita Ora, right, from years ago,
Hmm.
and she'd written this tweet and was like, I've got new music coming. If this gets 100,000 retweets, then I'm gonna announce my next album. It got like 1,000 retweets. It was so bad, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, I'm doing a Rita Ora." And then she had to come out the following day and be like, "Someone hacked my Twitter and is threatening to release my music." And I was like, I feel like that, like counting down until my song reaches this milestone. But do you know what? It's been 3 weeks since I
Yeah.
brought it out, and it's got over 3,000 streams. And so to be a tiny artist with no real kind of plan of how to really get my song out there, I've just got a TikTok account and a dream. To have over 1,000 streams a week, I'm really proud of that. And people have been sharing it and watching the music video as well, which doesn't contribute to my streaming numbers, but it sure feels good to know that people are watching it and enjoying it. So yeah, I couldn't be happier with it, honestly.
Brilliant, great stuff, and obviously you just mentioned there about the music videos. Obviously, the
Hmm.
first one that you have put out as an artist, it
Yeah.
featured Luke O'Rourke, and it was directed as well by Will Guttridge.
Hmm.
It's a brilliant video. I really enjoyed watching it, and it is out on
Thank you.
YouTube now.
Hmm.
So how then does it feel seeing the runner come to life visually?
Honestly, an absolute dream. Like, Luke and I have been friends for years now. So, and Luke is an actor in his own right. He's
Hmm.
fantastic. And so he'd always said to me when I first started writing music, and I told him like, "Oh mate, I'm gonna bring my own songs out." And he was like, "If you ever do a music video, just you know who to call." And so one day I just called him up and said, "Mate, I'm doing it. I'm doing a music video." And he was like, this is you asking me to be in it, isn't it? And I'm just like, yeah, of course. Like, come down. I'm not just bragging to you. Like, yeah, I'm doing it. Like, I want you to be in it. I don't think he maybe realized that the only thing I was going to ask him to do in the video was run through the streets of Liverpool. I feel awful, but honestly, he smashed it. And I met Will online. He kind of was doing a couple of music videos at the time and had just said, if you ever want anything doing, like, here's all my stuff. And so I had a look and I was like, his previous projects look fantastic. And so I'm more than up for it. And so, yeah, kind of met up with Will, had a discussion of how things were going to go and what ideas we had and stuff. And then he'd listened to the song, come up with an idea. I'd written the song and had some ideas. And so we both kind of collaborated on that, found some locations, and then drafted Luke in and got him running all across Liverpool. And it was, yeah, the way it came together was really, really cool to see it all. It was fab.
Yeah, it certainly does look like there that Luke did get his steps in him. He's wearing a Fitbit, or
Yeah, he
other
should have put a
devices are
watch on,
available.
honestly.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he did, but I should have tracked him, because honestly, one of my friends keeps commenting like, rumor is Luke is still running around the streets of Liverpool. I'm like, yeah, if you ever catch him. Um,
I
I'm
need
not
him back for
gonna.
another video.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm like, well, I need to give him like an opportunity to actually fully act now, because Luke is an actor.
Yeah.
Perhaps he isn't a runner, but for me, he was. And yeah, it was great just to get him involved. I mean, there's nothing I love more when, I'm writing music or performing live shows, or doing anything that's remotely, relative to what I do. There's nothing I love more than getting the people I love involved with it. And so to have him on side was fab.
Yeah, sure. I could imagine. As I say, it is a fantastic video. The
Thank
the
you.
link will be in the episode bio as well. So obviously this episode will be on YouTube as well. So once you've watched this, click the link for the runner music video, and
Mhm.
then happy days, because we'll get some views
Yeah,
on our
absolutely.
page. So I would just sort of like want to go back really to sort of like the beginning
Mhm.
of your sort of musical journey. A couple of
Mhm.
the early releases. Your debut single, Placeholder, arrived back in 2023 and is
Mhm.
now approaching 7,000 Spotify streams. And Anything Like Her has gone past 11,000 streams. When you look back at those early songs now, and you see where you are, a couple of years later,
Mhm.
how do you feel about those early releases?
Just so like it almost feels like I'm a completely different person. I think musically, my music and production of it has come on in leaps and bounds, but the way that I write, like my whole process is really different. But I love those songs. And Placeholder, I was rehearsing yesterday for a show that I've got coming up, and the way that I perform it live is different to how it sounds on the track. So being able to bring it to life in a new way because I perform differently is really fun. And with Anything Like Her, that was a real slow burner, because I think first song comes out, everyone's really curious, right? Everyone
Mhm.
that I know, who I already have on socials, who just knows that I do little like cover gigs, they've seen me play at a pub or something, they're really interested to see what I'm bringing to the table in terms of original stuff. And then Anything Like Her, it was kind of like, well, we already know you bring music out now. So it was almost like I was fighting a losing battle just on my second song. And they weren't even far between either. Like the first one came out in August, second one comes out in October. But then it was early last year, it shot up, like streaming numbers shot up out of nowhere. The song had been on like a couple of thousand streams. And then in the space of a couple of days, it had like 5,000 streams on it. I think it had been picked up by a playlist somewhere.
Yeah.
And yeah, the streams just started racking up. And then I think I'd said, like, ideally, if I can get it to 10,000 by, I think it was like Valentine's Day or some sort of thing like that. And I was like, ideally, I want it to reach 10,000 by this point. And then it did. And I was like, well, who'd have thought that? After I brought it out like over a year prior. So yeah, it was really, really, really cool. And, even I think no matter how much stuff I do and how many songs I release, it will always come back to kind of the original stuff, because
Yeah.
there was something so special about recording music for the first time in my life. I'd never really considered having the opportunity to do it. So when I came in with those three first tracks, I was really, really proud to just been putting music out into the world. Because even though I never imagined doing it, it's something that, the second you start learning an instrument or the second you start performing, you're like, I'd love to do that. I just never thought I could, but I did.
Yeah, no, definitely. And then looking then as well, still on that sort of theme, then has your
Mhm.
creative approach or process changed at all? How does it work now for you?
Yeah, in a lot of ways, I think the first thing is that I'm a lot less critical. Maybe sometimes that's to my detriment because I'm just like, yeah, that sounds good. Which is how I'm able to write a lot more. But I think most importantly, I'm a lot more like supportive of my own decisions. If I think it sounds good, I'm not going to sit and dwell on it for a while. I'm going to send a demo straight to Leo, who records everything for me. I'm going to send it straight to him and go, tell me the honest truth. What do you think of this? I've written it. I can tweak it. How do you think it sounds? And, he's always super supportive. But prior to that, I was always so scared of letting anyone hear what I'd written because everything is
Mhm.
so personal. And, sometimes there's things that I say and I go, no, I can't sing that. I can't sing that. And I can't talk about that. And I can because no one knows the ins and outs of it but me. But yeah, now I think it's a lot more, I'm having a lot more fun writing as well.
Mhm.
I think I'm in a different headspace, which is great. Like I'm a lot happier in myself and my life. And so yeah, the songs that I'm writing, which fingers crossed I'll be recording in the next couple of months, I would say, right? Release it in the next couple of months. And yeah, I'm just having so much more fun doing it because it feels like there's less pressure. It just feels like, do you know what? There are people that I think I'm at a point now where there's people that I don't know that are listening to my
Mhm.
music. Because when you first bring it out, it's only people that you know. It's your mum sharing it on Facebook. It's, everything like that. So now that there's people that I don't even know personally listening to it, it's just more exciting because there's people that are just excited to see what I come out with, which is yeah, a real blessing, really.
Yeah, definitely. I can imagine, and I
Mhm.
wish my mum would listen to my podcast. To be honest, so at least your mum's listening
Honestly, I'll
to
get it.
your
I'll get her to
music.
share this. I'll get my mum straight on it. Get her sharing it.
Brilliant. Just also as well, kind of like looking at the sort of the industry like a little bit wider, really.
Mhm.
Have you sort of faced any sort of particular challenges whilst you've been sort of trying to get yourself, up and running? Obviously, being a female artist, I've heard plenty of times saying that, the opportunities aren't there and, for, in terms of gigs and obviously we know as well with like the big festivals maybe not necessarily always seems to be the same band. So from your sort of perspective on the sort of the grassroots sort of scene, how has that played out for you so far?
I mean, there are so many setbacks. Being a musician generally, I think you've got to accept that you need to have a really thick skin, and you've got to accept that there are some gigs you're just not gonna get, and some opportunities that just maybe aren't meant for you. And it's a bitter pill to swallow, sure. And I still kind of hold on to hoping that you'll see me at Glastonbury and you'll see me play, Wembley and whatever. But you
Well, you've got
know,
to aim high, in
you've
my
got
opinion,
yeah,
anyway.
shoot for the
But yeah,
moon and all that stuff. But being a woman that makes alt pop music is it's like shooting fish in a barrel. Being from Wigan, I think is something that I'm really proud of. Something that kind of holds you back a little bit, being from a small town rather than like living in an inner city, and you know because I've discovered over the last couple of months, like there's initiatives that you can join, but only if you live in the Liverpool City region or only if you live in central Manchester and things like that. And it's such a shame because it's like, well, the city is more than just the centre. And people
hmm
that live in the city centre are likely people that aren't from the city anyway. They just live there now because they moved for uni or, whatever. Um, and if you want to talk about homegrown talent and things like that, then there's got to be stuff in place that raises people up from that area. And obviously, you know, Wigan's, I think, biggest of the last couple of years definitely be the Lathams, and they're fantastic. And they always do a hometown show whenever they bring out a new record, which is really cool. I went to they did a meet and greet in the market in Wigan Market, and I was just like, this
brilliant.
is class. Like, this is so funny. Like, and I hope to have the opportunity to do something like that myself one day because it does bring attention back to, where they're from. And obviously, you see it with Oasis And you saw it with the 1975. He does his like interview with Zane Lowe, and he comes back into the centre of Manchester and talks about the importance of the scene and stuff. And it's so important to have that attachment to where you're from, but you've got to almost hope that you expand far and wide enough that when you come back, it really does mean something to the people and the music scene, really. So yeah, it's really tough, and obviously everyone with a phone has the opportunity to market their music now. And so if you're not making it big on TikTok and you're not getting loads of streams, it's almost like you might as well not bother. But I can't have that mindset. I can't go thinking, oh well, there's people whose songs are going viral and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, but no one's coming out with a dance to the runner. Like, it'd be cool if you did. If someone wants to choreograph me something, but should do it myself really. But I'm not going back to my dance days, no way. So it's one of those. I think you've got to just push yourself as far as you can, and if an opportunity is meant for you, it's never going to pass you by. That's all I can remind myself of, really. I've just got to work really, really hard.
Yeah, I always find just something there that you said about like viral videos and stuff like that. It's still, obviously I've been sort of, I say, I'm not really sure if I am in the music industry or not. People tell me that I am, but I don't
I'd
know
definitely
really.
say that you are.
We'll say that we are for the purposes of this, but it still blows my mind that you could do, say, like the promo that you're doing at the minute for the runner, that you could get, I don't know, this isn't a very fair number, but say 1,000 views on a video that promoted the video, for example. Yet
Yeah.
another band or an artist, and I'm not here to slag anybody off because I understand it's the nature of the game, but I could be sat here right now and I could be doing a cooking video, how to cook a bit of pasta. This is a sauce that I've knocked together, and I could get 200,000 views. For
Yeah,
me,
it's
that blows my mind that that's even a thing like that shouldn't happen.
crazy. And it's such a fickle thing as well, because I've had two videos since having TikTok, which I only got, I'd say 2020, 2021 maybe. So for having the account for a couple of years, I've had two videos do really well. One of them it was a song called, I want to say the song was called Packs and Potions. It was like a Scouse rap song. And they had all these posters around, oh, it's owned by, there was posters around Liverpool. And I stood in front of the poster and tried to point to the words as fast as the words were being said, like I
Yeah.
am the subtitles. And that got like 1 million views. And it's like, I make my own music. Go and listen to that. But they ended up taking my video and using it as promotion for the song as well. Because I got sent my video and it had been like screen recorded and used as promo. And I was like, well, hang on.
Yeah,
What
cut
about
a li-
what about me? And then I had another one do really well, and it was when Charlie XCX had brought out Brat, and she did a song called "Girl So Confusing" with Lord, and it was the line that says "Let's work it out on the remix," and it was what was in my head, all of the people that should work it out on the remix. Now, you swipe through, and there's like Taylor Swift and Denise Welch, and there's Nolan Liam Gallagher. Now the Nolan Liam Gallagher one was insane because the Oasis reunion hadn't been announced yet.
right.
And Noel's daughter is in the comments of my TikTok
No
saying
way.
like, imagine my shock when I swipe through and see my dad. And then all of a sudden they get back together, and I don't want to take credit for it, but I do think I had a hand in it. And
You
they're
got to
the
take it.
two, I know, and they're the two videos that did really well. And I'm like, you know what? If you could all just now, all the million of you that have seen that video, if you could just go and listen to my song once each, I'd be a very, very happy girl.
Yeah,
So it's mad. Like videos can blow up out of nowhere, and then at the same time, you can put your whole heart and soul into writing the song, recording the song, making a music video for the song, non-stop, relentlessly posting about the song, and you'll get a couple of hundred views like
mm,
across the board. And it can be disheartening, sure, but you've got to just go, do you know, at the end of the day, it's an app that I scroll through at all hours of the day for fun.
yeah,
And if it stops being fun, you're not going to want to do it. So you've got to just keep telling yourself, like, you're doing this for your own entertainment and enjoyment and fun. And music isn't, I guess, my full-time job yet. And I think it would be a lot harder and a lot more like mentally taxing if it was, because everything is reliant on that. But at the moment, it is just a passion project for me. And so, yeah, if not everybody watches my videos, fine, cooler if they did. But I've just got to keep working and keep churning out the content. And then, yeah, hopefully I'll be sat here going, oh, yeah, well, all my videos get 1 million views. All my songs get 1 million streams.
Fingers crossed.
One day.
We can bring you back on and we can talk about that moment when it happens. So on every This Is the Music Meets podcast, we ask our guests a series of questions that are hopefully designed to be a little bit more lighthearted and just help the listeners find out a little bit more about the artists that I interview. So the first question is probably putting you on the spot a little bit with this one, so I do apologise in advance.
All right.
But you haven't heard it yet. You don't know what the question is.
It might not be all right. Actually, I might take that back.
What are your 3 favourite albums of all time?
Okay. Oh my goodness.
I told you I'd put you on the spot here.
That's hard. That should have been sent to me in advance. I'm gonna go. Oh, it's really, really tough. I'm gonna go with. Oh, which one do I even choose? There's got to be a Paramore one in there. I think I'm gonna go with Riot by Paramore. It's one of the first albums I ever heard where I was like, that is the best. That's the best album I've ever heard in my life. And it's kind of stuck with me forever. And Paramore have always been one of my favorite bands. So I would say, yeah, definitely Riot by Paramore. Oh, it's really, really tough. I feel like I've got to mention. I think I'm going to have to go with Hypersonic Missiles by Sam Fender.
Nice.
Because I do think in my lifetime, it's the best debut album I've heard. It's so strong straight out the gate. It's so good. And that comes back to what I was saying earlier about how like you make one album, it's really, really good, and then you have to kind of decide whether or not you're going to make an album that sounds like that one, or you veer away from it. And I think he's got a sound that's so like uniquely his, but is consistently very, very good and continues to like evolve a little bit as well. So yeah, Hypersonic Missile, Sam Fender, Riot, and then I'd have to go for like a classic, like it'd have to be like Rumours by Fleetwood Mac, surely, because that is like a storyteller of an album. It's absolutely incredible start to finish. It's really emotional and one of the greatest bands to ever do it. Like it's so good. Yeah, I think I'm going to put them down. They're my 3 greatest.
Locked in.
Oh, there's so many good ones. They're my 3. They're my 3. I'm doing it. I'm locking it in. They're my 3.
Brilliant. Love it. Obviously, it is the start of a new year. Have you made any New Year's resolutions? And sort of more importantly, if you have, how long realistically do you think you're going to be able to keep them going?
I mean, I said I was going to do dry January and I was in the pub on New Year's Day. Like, you don't listen to a word I say. Like, don't listen to me. No, to be fair, I did say I want to keep going. I want to do park run every week because it's a marketing opportunity for the runner.
Yes.
It gets me out of the house. And if I can start the year when it's this cold, if I can go and do a run on a Saturday every single week right now, then I'll have no problems doing it in like March, April, May, into the summer. Like if I can do it now when it's this cold, there should be nothing stopping me doing it consecutively. And then my plan is to run like a 10K, maybe even a half marathon by the end of the year. If it doesn't kill me first, that'd be cool. I'm not doing a marathon. I'm not going to be, well, maybe I will get sucked into that at some point. But right now it's like, if I could do a half marathon, great. If I can run a 10K by the end of the year and not feel like I'm going to die, That's fine.
Happy day, yeah, and just on it because I did see that that video that your I think it was a story I think you put up on your
Yeah,
Instagram.
about doing a run for the
Yeah,
runner.
could your friend or something you was doing it with her and she runs marathons? Have I got that right?
Yeah, so she did 4 half marathons last year, countless 10Ks, 5Ks. She was a pacer in some runs as well,
Oh
which is where they have
wow,
like the flag on the back and have to
yeah.
run for a set time. How you know how fast you're running to a point where you can pace? How do you pace yourself? What are you talking about? I just run until I feel like I can't anymore, remember how to breathe and then carry on running. That's my sort of, maybe I need to work on my strategy a bit. But yeah, she does a lot of running. So having obviously a friend like Lily who's like, yeah, I'll run a 5K with you, that's nothing. Doesn't feel like nothing to me. But it's good to have her on side because she'll always be up for joining me. As she is on all of my antics and endeavours, to be fair. She's a great friend to have. I think running or otherwise, she'll always be on hand.
Brilliant, love that, love that. And looking at a sort of more musical one again now,
Mhm.
what would be your dream support slot? Any artist? Who would you want to go?
Goodness.
Who would you love to pick up the phone and go, Shannon, I've got this support slot. Come and open up for me.
I think I'd have to think tactically here because I want it to be sort of genre suitable. Because
Hmm.
ideally, when you are a support slot, because I've seen it sometimes where it's not been like the best fit, and then they haven't had the best reception crowd wise. So I guess I want to tap into the market that I hope to have. I think Gracie Abrams would be a wonderful one because I think I just want to be able to go and see her show again. Like I think she's great. So just to get there and be there would be amazing. But it's definitely kind of the fan base that I want to tap into is the likes of Gracie Abrams. So if she's watching, if she's listening, Gracie, just give me a ring and I'll be there. I will be there.
Brilliant, brilliant. And have you ever written like a lyric to one of your songs and sort of really loved it at the time, and then when you've recorded it and then thought, yeah, I can't believe that I've written that. Is there been ever any moments like that that you wish you could
Um,
go back and change?
I think it's really really hard. I think there is one song that, granted, I don't speak about as often because of the subject matter and how hard it is to perform it live. But I think releasing an update was definitely the most personal my songwriting will ever get. It came from a very very emotional place. Um, but I did this stupid thing where I have like a voice note sort of sound of me talking in the background. And looking back now, I'm like, you didn't need to talk on it. You didn't need to, but it fit with the overall, with the whole vibe of the song and everything. And yeah, now I'm like, people do actually, surprisingly to me, like people do really resonate with the song, and so they do like when I play it, but I have to just like choke back and just be like, anyway, this is an update, guys. And then my friends are all already crying because they know that that's what I'm about to do. Um, there was a show I played in Liverpool year before last, and my friends had arranged and secretly given everyone in the room like a little light up candle. And so when I started playing the song, all these little candles come out of nowhere. Now, bear in
Oh,
mind, I'm on the verge of tears anyway. My band go off stage and I play the song on my own. And then my friends, one of my friends on the front row is like recording, and I just go, where'd you all get them candles from? It really, really changed the vibe of the song, but it was one of the most like heartfelt gestures, and I was so like just overwhelmed by the love that I got for that song. Even though it's definitely not a high performing song. It's had the least streams out of every song I've brought out, the runner included, which has only been out a couple of weeks. But yeah, that song is not by any stretch something I regret writing, but something that every time it comes around to me performing it live, I'm like, you didn't have to write it. Like you've done this to yourself. Like you chose to write about it. But I love that song. There will be a special place in my heart for that all the time.
yeah, sure. Okay, so What then can you tell us about your gig plans for 2026? Are you going to be looking to, sort of get a full diary, for the year? What are you looking at?
Absolutely. I mean, unfortunately, it is a fallow year at Glastonbury, which means that I won't be headlining there, which is a shame. Really looking forward to that. But no, in all seriousness, I'm doing. I've got a gig in Wigan. I'm actually doing an unlocked showcase in 2 weeks. Then I'm going to be playing at the Jacaranda in Liverpool for Independent Venues Week. That's on the 29th of January. And then from there on, it's going to be kind of headline shows as and when I am either about to release something and I want to tell you about that, or I'm just kind of getting music out there because I've written more and there's more that I want to kind of document. And, with that, there's like more music videos I want to do and things like that, and live versions of my songs. Like I mentioned before about Placeholder sounded different live than it does on record. So ideally, I'd like to release a live version of that at a show that I do. But it's kind of a lot of it this year, I think, is going to be about kind of networking for me and working with different promoters and playing shows in different places, because I've been very in this sort of Northwestern bubble because this is where everyone that I know is. And so playing gigs in Liverpool, because that's the nearest city for me to get gigs at, it's easier to get a gig there than it is anywhere else. But I was very fortunate that a friend of mine, Tom Collins, he did a show in North Wales because obviously that's where he's based.
Yeah, love
and
Tom.
he got me. Oh, he's absolutely brilliant. He's definitely one to watch for me. I do
Yeah.
think he is just destined for great things, and he deserves them as well. You know what I mean? And he invited me to go and play a show in North Wales, and that is something that ordinarily I wouldn't have really had the opportunity to do. But it really is all about the friends you make along the way. And I'd played a show with Tom probably around this time 2 years ago. And so he then asked me, "Oh, do you want to be a part of this?" It was a charity event that he did originally. I did something for that. And then he was releasing a song. So he was like, "Do you want to come and open the show for me?" At this really cool little venue called Cafe. It's a really, really cool little place. It looked like Tiny Desk. It was class. So yeah, I was very grateful that Tom got me there because, like I say, it's not a venue or even like an area that I would have had the opportunity to play had I not met Tom at a gig. So yeah, this year is going to be all about connecting with more people and just playing gigs wherever I get the opportunity to be honest.
Brilliant. Yeah. Fun enough, we had Tom on the podcast
Yeah,
right
yeah,
before this one actually, and yeah, great. Got a lot of time for Tom. Known him for a little while, the last couple of years or whatever. Yeah, and can only echo really what you said about him. Fantastic artist, and he definitely deserves all the success in the world.
absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah,
But
and
just oh
I think he's no, I think he really is like a real testament to, like, if you work really hard and you love what you do, then the opportunities will come to you. And I can't wait to see what he does this year. Like, I know that he's got a lot of plans, and I really hope that he achieves everything that he sets out to do because he really does deserve to.
yeah, absolutely, definitely. So if the runner is kind of like the start of a new chapter for you,
Hmm.
Shannon, what then does the rest of this? I don't know if you've just touched on gigs there, but in terms
Hmm.
of like new releases, which again it seems a bit crazy asking you this as we're promoting the
I
runner, but
know, just go and listen to. I've just brought one out. Give me a minute. No, I'm kidding. I'm
what
joking.
what
I'm
else can
joking.
what else can
Um,
we expect from you?
honestly, this year, I mean, everyone's going to be absolutely sick of me. I think I'm going to promote this song to death, and then I'm going to be kind of testing the waters a little bit with songs that I've written. So, like I say, I will play like any venue that's willing to take me on, and in that time, because I am writing as much as I can to get pick out the best of the bunch. Really, I only want to record things that I'm so sure that I want to be put on the internet
Yeah.
forever. But I'm going to kind of test loads of different songs out and styles out and see what fits. And so, yeah, there's going to be a lot of kind of demo ideas floating around on my socials. There's going to be a lot of live versions. It's just going to be, yeah, I'm going all in on every element of writing and recording and playing. So, yeah, everyone's just going to be sick to death of me, and that's fine.
I highly doubt that anyone's going to be sick to death of you. Look, because I've said already, I think the Runner is a fantastic track, and I've really enjoyed as well. Sort of,
Thank you.
diving into your other releases as well that you've put out, because fantastic songs, and there is definitely something about you that I think is really good as an artist. So yeah,
Thank you.
wish you all the best of the luck in the world with the rest, promoting the Runner and anything else
Mhm.
as well that you've got coming up. We'll definitely be keeping an eye on all of that great stuff that you've got coming up. But look, unfortunately, that is the end of the This Is the Music Meets podcast. Thanks very much for joining me, Shannon, for episode 161. But before I do let you go, can you just
Mhm.
let the This Is the Music listeners know the social media platforms that they can find you on?
Absolutely. So you can find me as Shannon Gillespie on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube now as well. I'm going to be posting some behind the scenes stuff of the Runner and making the video on there. I'm hoping to get some lyric videos for all my songs out on there so you can learn all the words for when you inevitably come and watch me play at any show that I can this year. But yeah, I am Shannon Gillespie on all my socials, so go and find me.
Brilliant, great stuff. Look, we'll put those links in the episode bio, along as well with the link to the YouTube channel as well, with so
Mhm.
everyone can go and watch the Runner music video as well, and the the ticket links as well for the gigs that you mentioned
Yes, absolutely.
as well that you've got coming up. Look, Shannon, as I say, thanks so much for coming on the This Is the
Thank
Music
you for
Meets
having me.
podcast. Pleasure to have you here. It was fantastic to chat to you and to find out a little bit more about you and obviously your songs and everything else. Because I say you've got some great stuff going on at the minute, and yeah, as I
Thank
say,
you.
definitely be keeping an eye out on you and everything else that you've got coming on. So yeah, good luck with it.
Thank you very much. Stay tuned. Big things coming, as they say.
And all that leaves me to say is to thank everyone for listening to the latest This Is the Music Meets podcast. Please subscribe so you never miss out on any brand new episodes. And if you're loving the podcast, I would love to hear from you. So do please leave a comment, as it really does help us and the artists that we chat to be discovered and beat those algorithms. If you are listening to this episode on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, then stay tuned, because at the end of this episode, you'll be able to hear Shannon Gillespie's brand new single, the fantastic The Runner, which is out now on all streaming and download platforms. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you very, very soon for another This Is the Music Meets podcast. And remember, the future is bright, the future is indie.